Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome back, family caregivers, older ones, those in special caregiving communities, those who are just struggling under the day to day brunt of entrepreneurship and that balancing act of keeping your families together and taking care of your loved ones. Welcome back to this channel of Lana's Little Things with me, Dr. Lana, specialist gerontologist, just passionate about all things to do with aging and how aging, why it matters, how does it even become a topic, and what am I going to talk about tonight for in this series, in this revamped Lana's Little Things, my 200th video. Now, I can't imagine. I know I can talk plenty, but 200 times since I've been speaking on this new Lana's Little Things platform. I am so honored and so chuffed to welcome you all back. It must mean, and it warms my heart, that it matters to you to hear the topics on aging. It matters. And for me, that matters so much that it matters to you. Because when I first started, I thought, well, no, nobody's really interested in the aging topic. Like, what could I possibly find to talk about? Talk about typical things, arthritis and getting older and whatever goes with that, and family caregiving, which is like a super passion of mine. But then, how do you play the long game? Why does this matter? So I thought for video number 200, with Phoenix, who's decided to join me, why does it matter? And that's the topic. Aging in our modern society. Why does it matter? Why should you care? Why should any of us care? Why it's important. So I'm gonna go through quite a few. I'm gonna try to stick to a 15-minute program this time because there is so much bodied up of aging and of this topic that I could say on the special night, special event. That I just thought, well, you know what, Lana, don't mess it up by talking for 30, 40, or 50 minutes because you guys know I can talk for sure. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. But I'm going to really do my best to push it out there why aging matters, should matter, and does matter to us all. Human, animal, whatever the connection. So, welcome and just leave your comments. Press the notification button for more because there's more to come. Share this with a friend. Watch it as a family. I hope you glean something that you can take away from here or any of my other videos and use in your lives that will benefit not just the persons you're taking care of, because the whole point of this channel initially was for caregivers to take care of themselves and also for older ones to recognize aging is not a disease, it is a process. And like any process, it will require different stages, transitions, movements, some detours, some backtracks, life itself. So before I go on into my little excited tirade, what I thought I'd do is just keep it simple and just stick to the why am I here in the first place? Why does this channel exist? What is my purpose in doing this channel? Because hey, life without purpose is no life at all, or without direction. I've had pause so many times in the past couple of weeks, listening to caregivers, listening to older ones, and they've actually fed back to me how important this channel is. And so I thought, huh, it really took me by surprise because I know aging is a topic that persons are talking about. I know family caregivers are challenged. I know entrepreneurship, being one myself and being an assistant with family caregiving and working full time, that in itself can just generate so many topics. So, what can I stick to? How can I make number 200 special? So, the reason for me starting this channel in the first place was because of years, I'd say years. It probably only dawned on me in the last 4 or 5 years. Hey, after speaking to a consultant friend of mine, you know what? I can actually study the process of aging. I'm so fascinated by it already. I have so many older relatives and I'm seeing their decline, and I'm not seeing anyone really feeling the vibe of we are getting older. The population is getting older. The United Nations has been saying this for ages, and we've reached in 2020 where the population is over 65. There are more people than under 5. That is just a belly up from what we had known before. It is as if it happened overnight. Like we just went to sleep and everybody was a certain age. And we woke up and it was a Rip Van Winkle moment and everyone is gray and older and seemingly frail and needing help. Like what? Okay. So let's see how we can reverse the hands of time, really get into the nitty gritty. And for you at home with caregivers, with your loved ones, older persons who are just watching and taking something from it, and those who want to know, like, does this even matter? Why are we talking about aging? Aging is on every single topic. It's on every single media post. It's everywhere. What can I possibly have to say for 200 times? All right, well, enough for me in that. Suffice it to say, I mean, this is really corny. How can I open? We are all aging. All of us. No matter how pretty we are, how old we are at the minute, we're all on that train. Same bus, just getting to the destination, the final destination at different times, but we're all doing it. How do we do that? How is it that one side of this train, this bus, is so densely packed with a particular age group, and the other side is so clear, and never the twain are meeting, and the caregivers are straddling on one end and straddling on the other end and trying to make life make sense. An older person seeing ageism in their society, being denied the opportunities just because there's a gray here or a gray there, feeling shame, feeling embarrassed for what? For getting older? For having more wisdom? For having learned and being able to impart to others who have not tread that road, who are not on that side of the bus, to mentor them? Why does it even matter to us just because we're getting older? I'll tell you why it matters. I'll tell you what I found. You can feel free to add your own points. And if you disagree, feel free. I might just I might say some things these are my personal comments, but they're based on research and my observations with patients and their families. And we are going to talk about why aging matters in this time, in 2025. Why should we care? So, we already said there's more older ones than there are younger ones. That's a belly up. That means that society's carers are now, you know, this small, having to take care of those above them who are growing bigger. That's called a population pyramid. And then there's fewer at the bottom to take care of these ones in the middle who have to take care of these at the top. That seems unfair. It seems wrong. But and also it creates anytime a society is filled or is flooded with a group of people who are different. And this is different in terms of they're not able to do what they used to do, or they're perceived as weak and vulnerable, and therefore easily exploited or to be cast away. Can we not see how that is dangerous to society and see how that is dangerous to the mind of someone whose mind is still as active as it was in their 20s, even though their body might be 70 or 80? So let us actively age. Let us encourage each other. Encourage the older ones. Older ones, encourage yourselves to see this as your time. United Nations declared 2020 to 2030 the decade of aging. It is still 2025. We're at that cross midway mark. Yes, COVID 19 and 2020 and all that, that just kind of, I think, just blasted that out of the window and created a huge distraction where the older ones, you'd think they missed their time of being noticed. Your time of invisibility as an older person stops now. Your point at which you think you're irrelevant, you matter not, stops now. For family caregivers, the fact that you're doing everything and no one seems to care stops now. We want to talk about the issue, we want to talk about why it matters, we want to talk about the good things that we can do and how modernization can actually be the tool for for aging. So let's get into it. So we know that everywhere around the world, whether you go to South America, North America, Western, Eastern Europe, or dear Caribbean, where I'm from, everybody's aging. And the ones who are older are, as we said, way more than those who are younger. So there's a population distortion. And those who are in what we call the sandwich generation, those who are taking care of children and older ones, feel the brunt and feel the burn. So how do we feel better? How do we navigate through this inevitable transition on this bus that we are all traveling to the same destination? Hmm. Now it's so ironic that aging is the sign of a healthy community. Remember, persons weren't living past 30, 40 years ago because there was disease, there was death, there were no uh, natural immunities to diseases. Mankind was like bombarded by assaults by bacteria that saw these new creatures as like just home for them, and many died. Overcrowding, poor socioeconomic conditions. People fought for their right to just be, and now we've got the result. Gotten older and older, and yet the aging is not as obvious as it was before. We keep hearing expressions: 50 is the new 40, 40 is the new 30, 60 is the new 50. Well, 30 is 30 and 40 is 40 and 50 is 50, okay? But the level and the why it matters is because as you've gotten older, there are more opportunities now. You're not just on this rectangle to go down and decline into death, simply and go in a rocking chair because society said so. No, this is a healthy society, a society that's providing better health for its citizens. So, as an older person, as a family caregiver, it matters that we talk about aging. It matters that we find solutions and not just park persons away into the waiting rooms for death. You know what I mean? Or just park them away feeling useless like an old bag, or park them away feeling as though they have nothing to give, and increasing the mental health challenges that are just burgeoning the population. Now, how does a society then prepare? Well, I don't know if prepare is the right word because the horse is out in the stables. Everybody's older right now. We've reached that point. So what do we do now? We mitigate the negatives and we accentuate the positives. That's a song. Anyway, what are some recommendations? Why does it matter? It matters because not just because we're all getting older, but we have to find ways of integrating. Older ones are not going anywhere. Let's just get that straight. A generation is coming The generation is not going as fast as it did before. So we got to meet in the middle somewhere. So we have to design a strategy, stop, point one, to support a healthy aging population. There's so much technology available. There's things called smart cities where you go older persons can navigate the city on their own, not needing anyone's help and necessarily to take them across the street. The signs are bigger, and this is many countries. The tablet that they've used, the laptop they've used, the phone they've used is catered to them. Gerontechnology is a huge business. Transportation, before, especially in Barbados, you used to have to step on the bottom step of the bus. This is the main bus, and some acrobatics used to have to go on there. But now they have this. This is years now. They, if they see an older person, they can actually have another lever where there's a smaller step up to get to your main step. Little things like that. Tell older ones, we thought of you. We're thinking of you. We are accommodating you, and it's okay to be older. It's also okay to be older and healthy. How are we going to provide for the inevitable or the possibility that you will get sick? Young ones get sick. We all get it, can have the flu or something at any point in time. How is that being provided for? The burden on the healthcare sector. How do we strengthen that? By keeping older ones healthy, so maintain your primary care physician's appointments. Maintain your gerontology appointments. Maintain your health. Be focused on what you need to do to protect your bones, protect your brain, protect your livelihood. Seek out new things. Your brain is always wiring and rewiring and looking for things to do. So let's strengthen the healthcare sector by making it easier to access healthcare, to access insurance, well insurance coverage healthcare, especially if persons have chronic illnesses. Oh, what about pensions? What about we said insurance? What about pensions? If you're living older, you need to have something to go on. Most older people I know, most anybody I know, does not want to be a dependent. Oh, they have to wait for granddaughter to bring them a little change, a little money, or cook for them. No, you're older, more vibrant. You know how many older patients I see who play golf, who are stepping out, who are traveling, who are cruising, who are doing everything, and they look like whew, fine wine, Asian like fine wine. But they still need to be provided for because aging. Reality is that because of aging and the processes that go on, any small shift in something that happens to you can create a rapid decline and you never may get back to that baseline. So keep your higher baseline, exercise, stay healthy, have a system that if something does go wrong, you have coverage. So countries do need to design pension schemes, do need to design insurances, cover older ones. A 70-year-old is not any more likely to to I won't say fall, to be sick as a 30-year-old. If you but they're likely to be possibly sicker and need greater care than the 30 or the 20 or the 10-year-old. Fair enough. So how do we do that so that they can speed up and get back to a normal life? Well, let's make the system better. Let's let them access to healthcare, primary healthcare, know what their numbers are, know what they need to do, get up there, get with their peers. What about the workforce? How do they manage in the workforce which seems to want to just cut you off at 50, 60? They'll try to cut it down to 45, they cut. You find yourself without a job. You may find yourself without pension. You may find yourself without insurance because the job just suddenly let you go because you're too mature now for the job, which they really mean you've passed your prime. Past your prime with all those cells working with wisdom? Nah. So this world, this decade that's in its halfway mark, must make provision to prepare for a new workforce, older workforce. Well, how does that matter to you? It matters. It matters because you can now, that increases your usefulness. Definitely. Not just because you you're being used by us, but you can impart to us what we're going to take ages to learn. It's just always better to learn from the mistakes of others than to keep making our own mistakes and being shattered by stupidness. Pure term, sorry. So the farm economy, let's have automated procedures. Teach older ones who want to how to use the technology. Some may not want things like internet banking for security reasons. We'll teach them things around it, how they can still manage their money. They're probably better managers than we are. But they had to get to where they are to know how to manage a household. Look to them for mentorship. Make facilities for them to gather the younger ones, to gather the sandwichers, to gather those younger who are caring for them, like myself, those who are in that generation, to gather the young ones, to recognize that, hey, mom and grandmom and granddad, nothing's wrong with them. They just their bones and soul just don't work or look the same as yours, but they're very much the same in mind and heart and spirit. Sure. So what about legal protection? We definitely have to do that. A big, huge point would be to encourage what is now known as the silver economy, with older persons who we know are contributing more to the economy than those who are below, because the ones who are below don't have a job, because the older ones are still alive in their jobs and keeping it and doing well. So prepare for industries that older populations can use without it being a competition for space. We should be past this point where we're competing for space on this planet. We can't just dump everyone. We need and we benefit and we learn from each one. What is your biggest challenge so far as an older person? What is your biggest challenge so far as a caregiver in terms of joining or being part of an aging community, or looking for solutions, or even agitating for solutions? In our Western Hemisphere, we are just skyrocketing with older persons. Hopefully, this is gone. We are just skyrocketing with older persons. And I think sometimes we really didn't think this through. Did we not think that they were going to get older at some point? So let's do like certain countries, which we already know the older countries, Japan, China, even those in Singapore, have made provision. What about us in the Caribbean? What about us in Mesoamerica? What about the Western world? How can we do this? How can we embrace aging? Not just acknowledge that it's happening, but embrace it. Recognize it, accept it, embrace it, and let older ones have a space where they feel and are useful and are useful. The reality is that things happen, then make space for them to be well housed in facilities where for a short time they can get better and come back home. Let's make facilities for aging in place to be a thing, to be the thing that persons want to do and not just be a burden. How do we do that? Public spending. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. That's all politics. But let's think of it logically. We got more older people. We gotta find a way to just figure out how to blend them with society, give them a higher quality of life. Put parks for older persons. Make community centers where older persons can gather the younger ones together. Man sheds for the older men to mentor younger men, and they connect. Bring the children to connect. It matters. We should care because we too may find ourselves down that side. And don't family caregivers want the relief? So if you find somewhere for your older one to be happy and healthy, you get to do what you want. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win. I finally gonna just share one of my summarize this into saying the point of it all is to age healthy, age happy, create wonderful family dynamics, create a society that is accepting and not rejecting of ageism. That is the point of, for me, of Lana's Little Things. That is my passion. You will, if you love this one and you love the idea of having a digital city, a smart city, some a community center, a man shed, a place where you can find uh, persons of your own age where you can communicate, talk, laugh, play golf, play mini golf, just walk. You got lots of sunshine in the Caribbean, but even if you don't, just make a place where you are together. Make a place where generations bond. Make a place. It is for not just you, it's for society, it's for the whole benefit. Because if older persons are taken care of, they have so much heart, everything else gets taken care of. And we can still support them and not feel burdened. So let's cut this through because I'm like at 25 minutes. I knew it. But this is so important. I thought, well, we really do need to get a good summary and a good reason for being. My raison d'être, my reason for being here was to link us all together. And I'm so proud and happy that I feel that at this number 200, I have linked some together. And the feedback has been great. So again, remember to like, subscribe. If you like this, you will love Lana's Little Things, my main channel. So just join me there for more of this information, for courses, for Zoom calls, for interactions, for places for service for family caregivers. I am a physician, and of course, physicians also are caregivers, but they're having stress. What about you, family, fellow physicians? Join me on Lanaslittlethings.com. You will get a free, first thing we need is to relax, a free meditation video. I also have a few cheat sheets that you can do your 10 steps to sleep, 10 steps to better health. I will link that below. We want more togetherness. We want more bridging of gaps. We want older ones to feel better, to feel as though they matter. Because when we get older, don't we want to feel the same way? Think about it. When we get older, don't we want some provision made for us? So start now to provide. To take the thought that getting older is a problem. No, it's not. It is an honor. And I honor you, older ones. I thank you because without you, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. The wisdom of the ages. Just simple things that we take for granted were provided by older ones. So let's see older ones as an investment and make that investment matter. So it does matter. Thank you so very much for your time on this channel. I'm so honored to be able to be here. And if there's any way that we can link up, if you're having overwhelm as a family caregiver or a family physician, just join me over at Lanaslittlethings.com. Send me an email. I am desperate. I need help. That's it. Just join. You'll get a free meditation video. You'll get a few cheat sheets, and you have lots of courses. I'm building courses as we go along and gathering groups together. Let's do this. Let's do this for each other, for ourselves, because you know what? It matters. It matters. Age like fine wine. To you, all the ones out there, tip my hat to you. You've done it. We now need to pay back, follow through. We need to know how to follow through in order for us to be healthy together. Not just healthy, but live a joyous life until we on that bus get to our destination. From my heart to yours, Dr. Lana, on number 200, finally signing off and thanking you for your time. There will be more, but 200 is so special. Thanking you for your time. Thanking you for being the caregiver that you are. Thank you, older ones. And remember, bridging gaps is so vital. So again, well, Phoenix is gone from his heart and my heart to yours. Have a good morning, a good evening, or a good night. We'll see you soon because there's more to come. There's more to come. Mwah.